Okay, Joe, announcements to the court in regards to Miss Bicknell.
Your Honor, I've spoken to Ms. McNell. At this time, she's going to waive her right to an evidentiary hearing and stipulate to the sole allegation in the warrant to show cause.
Thank you, Mr. Favre. And Rhonda will go on the record. Case is entitled State of Kansas versus Don Bicknell, 19 CR 69. State of Kansas appears by Greenwood County Attorney Jill Gillette. The defendant, Ms. Bicknell, appears in person and by court-appointed counsel Joe Favre. Also appearing at this time is Intensive Supervision Officer with Community Corrections, Christy Ashenfelter. This matter does regularly come back before the court this date on a warrant to show cause as to why Ms. Bicknell should not be revoked from her probation. And Mr. Favre.
Your Honor, I've spoken to Ms. McNell, and at this time, she's going to waive her right to an evidentiary hearing and stipulate to the violation.
Thank you, Mr. Favre. Ms. McNell, the court has been advised you do wish to admit to being in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. Is that correct?
Yes.
Ms. McNell.
Yes,
Ms.
I'm sorry.
Ms. McNell, it is the court's understanding you do wish to admit to being in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. You need to unmute and answer yes or no.
Yes.
And do you understand by making this admission, the court could very well revoke your probation and order you to serve the balance of your sentence previously imposed?
Yes.
Have you had adequate and sufficient opportunity to confer with Mr. Favre prior to entering your admission here today?
Yes.
Ms. McNell, the court does find that you are knowingly and voluntarily admitting to the probation violation, and the court recommendations for disposition. Ms. Gillette.
Judge, Miss Bicknell has a sordid history with this court. I've gone through, she had her first motion to revoke filed, and she ended up after being placed on community corrections, it is file stamped July 6th of 2022. She failed to pay costs. She failed to report. She missed meetings, basically disappeared, tested positive for meth, failed to complete her alcohol and drug treatment. That was clear back at the very beginning in 2022, at the very beginning of her probation. Then we move forward in time and we have the revocation on November 10th of 22. And she was given a sanction at that time, a quick dip of 2 days. Her probation was extended. She had stipulated then, and she was supposed to schedule her due days in the next 30 days and pay $100 per month on her fees that were outstanding. We gave her a second chance. Then she had a second motion to revoke probation, and that was file stamped March 10th of 2023. She still was not paying any of her fines and fees and costs. She was still failing to complete alcohol and drug treatment, and she was discharged on February 27th of 2023 from her drug treatment with Spring River Mental Health and Wellness due to lack of attendance. So we had those issues going on with her then. There was an addendum to that because she continued to possess drugs and tested positive for methamphetamine and amphetamine. She continued in April and May to admit methamphetamine use. and still had not done everything that she needed to do for her conditions of probation, community corrections. So we had her journal entry number 2, and we had her hearing on June 1st of 2023. And the court at that time ordered her to do a 60-day sanction and to complete her drug treatment. And she was supposed to report to the county jail on June 16th at 3. It's, the court has given her chances. She has failed to report to the Greenwood County Jail as ordered for her sanction. And we issued a no bond hold warrant for her. And she had continued to fail to report, do the things that were reasonably demanded of her ISO, and basically didn't come back. She was picked up, and she was first appeared on January 23rd, but essentially Miss Bicknell has refused to follow any of the orders of this court. She has demonstrated she doesn't want to do her drug and alcohol treatment. She has demonstrated that she doesn't want to pay anything on her costs. She's demonstrated she doesn't want to do the simple acts of coming and doing her sanctions in order to have a second chance out to do her treatment. And the reason that she was placed on Senate Bill 123 treatment was for treatment. She has made the choices while on community corrections that has landed her back in custody. Her choices have led her to having the 2 initial revocations, the addendum to the second revocation, and then this now 4th filing. She has basically laughed in the face of the court, and I understand that she's been diagnosed with medical conditions recently and that she may need treatment. We have treatment providers for KDOC, and she can receive treatment while she's in. She's going to argue she wants to be out to get that treatment, but I don't see how the continued use of methamphetamine is good for her on the street and continuing to test positive for methamphetamine and then disappearing and not doing the things that have been asked of her. If she had done the things that have been asked of her over the last year, she would not be in the county jail, and she would be out and able to do the things that are necessary for her. So my recommendation is to revoke her and place her in custody to serve the remaining balance of her underlying sentence with credit for the time that she has served against it, and that Miss Bicknell understand that it's her choices that led her to this situation. You gave her a chance clear back in June to report and do a sanction, and she couldn't do that.
Recommendation, Mr. Favre.
Well, Judge, I'm just off the top. I mean, I think Ms. McNell will be the first to say that she definitely has not been very good at probation. Now, I will tell you there's extenuating circumstances. None of those are justifications, but I think that they're worth taking into account. She has had a lot of transportation issues. She did not live in Greenwood County. She was requiring on other people to get her back and forth. She has had substance abuse issues, which she is not, to my knowledge, she did not address because we don't have the evidence of that. So there's a lot of factors going into this. What we're asking for is the court has already given her a sanction of 60 days at the last hearing. She is currently serving that. She is, I believe, I'd have to go back and look at the exact date, but she's somewhere near the 30-day mark in. So we're asking the court to keep her in for that 60 days and then give her an additional sanction on top of that, and then allow her to treat her cancer. She has stage 3 colon cancer, and the bottom line is it is what it is. She's already had surgery. She has a follow-up appointment for that at Mercy Hospital in Joplin on March 21st. I've provided that proof to Miss Gillette's office. I'd be happy to forward it to the court, or Miss Ashenfelter as well. She's receiving care for a very serious cancer, and she would like to maintain the doctors that know her and know her condition and be able to take care of that. It's sad that Miss McNell's choices have put her here. I think she acknowledges that. We're asking the court to allow her to treat her cancer appropriately and not rely on other, the hope that DOC will take that responsibility. She came into this, I'll note, also as a, very little criminal history. She's just been she has not been very responsible on probation, which I think she'll admit. And so we're asking the court to have some mercy and allow her to treat her cancer the way that it will be most successful. And that's kind of where we're at this point, Your Honor. And that recommendation would require her to have an extension of probation. But she does have a vehicle now. She does have transportation. So she has resolved some of those underlying issues that she believes will allow her to maintain on probation at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Favre. And further recommendations from Intensive Supervision Officer with Community Corrections, Christy Ashenfelter.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to bring to your attention that the defendant, during the time when she did not turn herself in to complete her 60-day court order jail sanction, she was not reporting to this office. She was not in any type of alcohol and drug treatment. Those are main components of her probation. So I do feel for the defendant that she does have medical problems going on, but she does also have probation obligations that she was not fulfilling.
Thank you, Ms. Ashenfelter. Ms. McNell, the court has taken an opportunity to review back through your file, to also read and review the case notes herein. Subsequently, the court has found you in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. Subsequently, the court does order that your probation is hereby revoked and you serve the balance of your sentence previously imposed. Any other matters to come before the court?
May I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my drug treatment, I only had one appointment left to complete it. That's it. And Ruth Weitzel can attest to that. I only have one appointment to complete all my drug treatment. And like he said, I have a car and everything now. If I could please be given this last opportunity, please. I will not miss any appointments. I will report as many times a week as you guys want me to. If I could please have this last opportunity, please. I have a vehicle and everything now. I understand that I didn't show before, but it was a really hard time trying to get back and forth. But one of my clients gave me a vehicle. That way I could make sure and get back and forth to my doctor's appointments. And like I said, I was only one appointment from completing my drug treatment. Please, Your Honor, please just let me have this last opportunity so I can do my treatment and stuff. And if I miss anything or do anything wrong, I will do out my whole sentence. Please, Your Honor.
You said you now have transportation provided by your client?
One of my clients gave me a vehicle so that I could make sure and get back and forth to my doctor's appointments. I have a new 2018 HHR, so it's a good vehicle to get back and forth everywhere.
What work do you do?
I have my own business. I clean houses. I have 22 clients, and they could all give me a good reference also. My daughter-in-law is taking care of it right now.
And you're under treatment at Mercy Hospital in Springfield, Missouri?
In Joplin, Missouri. It's like 10 minutes from my house.
Where are you currently residing?
Galena, Kansas, at my mother's. It's also 20 minutes from Columbus, Kansas, where I was reporting before. And the officer there actually comes to Galena twice a week, and I could report to her twice a week because she's right there in town.
And Ms. Ashenfelter, who has Ms. McNell been reporting to as far as intensive supervision officer with community corrections?
Your Honor, she was supposed to be reporting to me, which she has not been.
I was reporting to Joyce. I didn't know I was supposed to report to you also. I went to her every week in Galena.
When you have violations, your case is then sent back to the originating county.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I was going to her. I didn't know I
Well,
was.
Your Honor, she has not been reporting to any office. We have not been able to validate any employment, living situations, or treatment.
I can provide proof of all of that. Joyce, at the one in Columbus, I went to her up until June. I was still seeing her after I came to court with you guys.
Ms. McNeil, the court is finding that you are totally in non-compliance. And this is, I believe, the third time you're before the court on probation revocation matters. Subsequently, the court has previously ruled your probation is hereby revoked. And I do once again reaffirm that the court revokes your probation at this time for being in violation of the terms and conditions of your probation. The court orders you to serve the balance of your sentence previously imposed, and the court does grant you credit for all and any time that you have served.
So what does that mean?
That means I'm revoking your probation and ordering you to serve the balance of your sentence with the Kansas Department of Corrections in prison.
What are you serious? So what about my cancer and all that?
This is a very serious proceeding, and the court is aware of the seriousness of this matter. Anything further, Ms. Gillette?
Judge, are you assessing any costs since she's ordered to KDOC?
No, I'm finding she does not have financial wherewithal for reimbursement of the same. Anything further, Mr. Favre?
Judge, no, I don't believe so.
There being nothing further to come before the court is in recess. And good luck to you, Ms. Bicknell.
Can I speak with Mr. Favre?
I'll do a breakout if the court will allow.
Yes.